Ladies and gentlemen, and we are at Roach's Brewery, and we're with Brandon, the main person that actually makes our beer. Go, Brandon.
I'm here with a great pint of IPA in front of our three bright tanks full of delicious craft brewed beer. All the beer is made right here on location, where you see.
In Canoa Beach.
Canoa, Ecuador. It's very interesting that we get all these ingredients down here from Europe, the best, finest barley malt. The hops come direct from the Yakima Valley, Washington. Premium ingredients, premium beer, something unique in Ecuador.
Can you tell us a little bit of your background? How did you learn how to make brew beer? How did you learn that?
I started working for Michigan Brewing Company when I was 18 in 2002, and from Michigan Brewing Company we did contract work for several other breweries. We exported our beer to Sweden. Very good beer, gold medal winning at the Great American Beer Festival, premium beer. We worked for Kid Rock. We created the American Badass Lager, very famous beer in the States, sold all over the country. And then I went on and worked for several other breweries, Detroit Brewing Company, Corner Brewery, and Arbor Brewing Company.
Okay, so the gentleman really knows what he's doing. And again, we are in Canoa, and that's part of the coast of Ecuador. And can you show us the three kinds of beers that actually we're making so far?
This beer that's in my hand right now is IPA, India Pale Ale. It's an English beer. Made famous 200 years ago in the colonization of India when it was under British domination. They sent their beer to their soldiers. It had to have a lot of alcohol and hops, which is a natural antioxidant, and obviously alcohol, a preservative to keep the beer from going bad and spoiling in the days before refrigeration. So the microbrewery revolution of the 90s, the IPA style became popular again as a very good alternative to your average macro beers.
What's the level of alcohol of that beer?
This one right here is 7.14% alcohol by volume. It's one of our best sellers. We sell it in the Galapagos, we sell it in Quito, we sell it everywhere. So Ecuadorians and foreigners alike love the beer.
What do we have here with B1?
German Kolsch. It's a highly drinkable German golden ale. 5.6% alcohol, brewed with according to the standards of hop bitterness. It's a very drinkable golden ale, very popular too.
And we got B3 over here.
Finally, in bright tank number 3, which bright means aging or brightening. So this is the final product served as English nut brown ale, similar to Newcastle. Another great seller. It's a mild ale, really an English mild ale. It's got a nice medium body taste, chocolatey, roasted, but not too overpowering like a stout.
Can you tell us a little bit about the symbol of the Roach's beer?
The Roach's Brewing Company, it's an Irish name, but of French origin, which has a long brewing tradition in Northern Europe, as well as Ireland, of course, which is where my family's from, so that's the family name. We put it on there. My father brewed beer, my grandfather's brewed beer, my great-great-great-grandfather in Germany brewed beer, so kind of representing that family tradition in the art of brewing, we incorporate it into our company image.
So we're drinking basically the spirit of the family.
Exactly.
And what do we have with F1 and F2?
These fermenters are the initial vessel in which the unfermented beer gets put prior to fermentation and during. It's conical, so that as the beer that is fermenting settles out, gravity does the job of filtering it. The sediments, dead yeast, proteins accumulate in the bottom, which we open this valve or this valve to take that waste out with your sample valve. So this is where the beer starts its life off. It ferments here for about a week at 18 to 20 degrees Celsius before being transferred into one of the aging tanks that you saw before.
What do these two tanks do?
This is the actual brew house. This is where all the beer is initially produced. You have a hot liquor tank, mash tun, and boil kettle, 3 intrinsic elements of a brewery. The crushed barley gets put into this mash tun, mixed with 175 degree Fahrenheit water to convert the enzymes. The enzymes convert the starches present in the grain into fermentable sugars. So the hot water comes out of this tank, it mixes with the crushed barley for the maceration process, the conversion. The starches, once complete, flows out through into this ramp, which is linked to a pump, stainless steel food grade pump. Everything is stainless steel through a port. The beer gets pumped, the wort, as it's called in this stage of the process, gets pumped into the boil kettle, where all the liquid accumulates, where we put flame to it to boil all our beer with an open flame. The boiling beer at certain points has hops added to it. The hops are the bitter, flowering female part of the Cumulus lupus vine. They contrast with the malty sweetness that the beer has with the residual malt in it, the sweetness that you taste. The hops counteract it. So while we boil, this isomerization, which is a technical term of the dissolving of the hop oils, takes place. So we added hops at various intervals in order to get the characteristic bitterness of each beer style. Once 60 to 90 minutes have passed, the beer wort, as it's still called affectionately at this point in the process, recirculates, settlement down to the bottom, which we draw off this valve here into the heat exchanger. The heat exchanger runs 32 degree Fahrenheit water against the boiling beer through these plates of stainless steel, which create a very large surface area, almost instantaneously bringing the beer down to whatever temperature you want, in this case 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So regulating the outflow of the pump through the heat exchanger, the beer goes into the fermenter, where all it needs is yeast to start fermenting and turning into beer. The yeast eats the sugars present through the maceration process into the boiled beer and creates alcohol and carbon dioxide. So the result is a bubbling beverage with CO2 coming out. Alcohol stays in the liquid. The liquid gets transferred into these triple jacketed aging tanks, which contain ice cold water circulating through the triple walls. The beer stays inside to maintain the pressure and carbonate them through carbonation stone, and the end result is the best beer.
And ladies and gentlemen, and the best part of all, this is how you drink it. He's just gonna take a sip of it, and that's how we make the beer that we sell at Hotel Solimar. Cheers, Brandon.
Cheers.
Thank you for being with us.